What's up everyone, it's Jeremiah back with the Model Metal Songwriter, and we're back for part 2 of our little THALL production breakdown, and we're going to be going over bass today. So let's just get right into it and hop right into the DAW. So this is a MIDI bass. It was a Dingwall VST library. I believe it was the Submission Audio Umansky bass, and I just printed the DI right from that. So I'll let you hear just the DI. Sounds like a Dingwall, so you're halfway there, I guess, for this genre. So I'm going to kill all these plugins and these sends on the bus, and we're just going to start from scratch. First, we have an EQ right on the DI. It's kind of similar to the whole guitar DI, but this kind of reacts to the amp more than like it's kind of fixing stuff. So we'll actually put on the amp first, then we'll go back to that. So for the amp, we're going with seismic bass. Let's just start from the pre-effects section. So we have a compressor on, and these are the settings here. And then we go into the ultra distortion module over here, which is a pretty classic preamp for a Dingwall sound, so it fits really nice. Then you can see all the settings right here if you want to copy them or whatnot. And then we go to the amplifier section, and I'll start from the left and move right so that we just go in order, I guess. So I have the contour here, the low is at 1.5, mid's at -228, then the high is at 1.8, and you can see there's no lights turned on here, so it's just normal. The crossovers are at 148 and 836, and I have 2.22 of Quake on. So that's this whole section over here. And on the actual amp, we're just using amp 3 the entire way across, and a little bit of the comp on each one, like 1.7 to 8, and then from there going to the EQ, just kind of scooping some mids and a little bit of a low shelf. We have no enhance on. This is pretty much the settings I came across, and then we go to the post effects, and we're just using the EQ to dip some 500 hertz really and add some 62. And then the cabinet is where it's a little interesting, so I didn't use the cabinets in here. What I did is I used the EQ section up here, and I kind of built my own cabinet. And now the reasoning for this is because I want a super dirty top end, but this cabinet kind of rolled off a little bit too much where it sounded too smooth. So I kind of just rolled off my own around like 7K, a dip at 3K, and kind of sculpted the mid-range. So going this route, you have kind of more top end, whereas the cab might roll off some more, so you have to add more back in later on. Let's hear the before and after seismic bass. You hear that top end is like super grindy, and I like it. So from seismic bass, we go out of there and we add a little bit EQ. This honestly doesn't matter, I feel like, because we're already doing that cab pass at like 6-7K. So this one probably doesn't even matter. And then we're just kind of shaping the low end. I feel 120 to 150 in bass guitars when you're super low tuned like this. It definitely can build up between the guitars, the bass, and the kick drum. So 120 to 150, I would definitely try to watch out. So let's hear the before and after of this EQ. For the most part, that kind of just shaves off what we already did in the seismic bass EQ, and it kind of fixes some 120 buildup. So then we go out of that into the bus. Now once again, this is a lot of plugins, but they're probably doing not a ton of stuff to begin with. The first plugin is Slate VMR. This was just trying to emulate some analog summing stuff, which is probably not even doing too much, but I was experimenting once again in this genre, and I was trying it out. So this one you could really do with or without. It was just me trying stuff, and it's really not a huge difference. Now we go to the actual first plugin is Pro MB, and this is just keeping the entire bass in check. You can see it's really not doing a whole bunch. It's just doing like -1 to 2 dB based on what notes he's playing. Right here, it's pretty much playing all the same note. Okay, so from there, we have CLA Mix Hub, my SSL channel that I'm liking right now. So here we're doing a little bit of EQ overall. We're cutting away some 8K, about 2.5. We're scooping some 600 out. Then we're cutting 200 hertz at a narrow Q at about 2 dB. And like I said, 120 hertz to about 200 hertz. That can just build up super fast being this low tuned. Then we compensate for that dip in the low mids with a low shelf at 30. Now this isn't really at 30 hertz, it goes above that, but it gives that perceived low end back that we kind of lost. And then from there, no compression, doing a filter at 10K and 20 hertz, which you're not even hearing. So it's here the before and after of that. Yeah, that kind of smooths it out more, makes it a little bit more round. And from there, we're just going to make it a little bit more low-endy. So we're going to go to R bass. This is the most subtle setting that is in here, I guess. But even this adds a lot to me. So we'll A-B with this on and off. That to me just adds a ton more low end that I'm missing in like the sub region. And then my favorite bass limiter, just to pin it down, is the MV2. It sort of brings up the low volume stuff and it brings down the high volume stuff. So it kind of just evens it out and it really pins it in place. Now, when I hear that in solo, it's not a huge difference, but I know in the mix, it being pinned like that is really going to give it like that super consistent low end that I'm going to like. So the last plugin is Pro MB, and that is just doing that kick drum sidechain thing. So let's hear the drums and the bass. This one to me isn't as obvious as the guitar one from the last video, but it still definitely makes space for the low end of the kick drum. And that is the bass chain, but there is one other thing that I do that's kind of experimental, and I think is super cool. So we have this bass spread send that I'm doing, and this is me sending the DI straight to the send, and I'm making it super broken sounding. So I'll just play how this sounds by itself. Just to get the mid-range and the pick attack. Then that's going into a guitar amp sim. I'm using the Clairvoyant, probably on default. It has an overdrive, and then this is probably all stock settings, but I just turned the gain down, and then probably stock IRs too. And this is how it sounds. It's super grindy, and like the point of this is to just add to the bass tone that's already there. So I have Waves Doubler, and I get rid of the center channel here, so it makes it kind of chorusy, but it puts it in stereo. So now it's stereo. I want to EQ some of the things that I don't like. So the guitar amp, that added some low end, and it added a like cabinet resonance here at 700 again. After this EQ, it definitely sounds like a broken speaker on like the left and right side, and like that's the entire point of doing this, is like for intense moments to automate this up, so you have like the bass tone getting super distorted and like broken almost. So from there, we want to add more of that broken sound, so I added Saturn, and I'm getting rid of all like the top end that it's adding. Now it sounds like super broken. And just to make it more stereo, we have a short room. Then you can see like it's not always going on, but at certain points where I want the song to get more intense, I'm automating that up so the bass gets more like broken sounding, but it also gets like wider. So let's find a part where it's not going and then it comes in. Then with the guitars too, it definitely makes it a little bit more intense. When I boosted it there, you could really hear what it's adding, and I think it would be really cool to even have it that volume for those parts that it does kick in. I have a small insert here. This could be literally anything. This could be you stereo tracking bass, putting it through guitar amps on both sides. This could be a chorus pedal. I tried using stereo cabs. I experimented using Wave's Real ADT. So it's like two double-tracked, like fake double-tracked sides. So just try different stuff, because I feel this entire genre and sound is about having fun and experimenting still. It's still a newer sound, so like it's not like hard rules for anything yet. So I do urge you to experiment with any of this stuff. So let's bring that back down. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below, or join the Facebook group, and stick around for the next part of this little production breakdown. See you.